Hey guys, I'm Carrie Gabriel. Welcome to our Wednesday night team Zoom. Today we're going to talk about working with anxiety. We're going to talk about how it affects your business, how you can work through it, and just talk about it, as a group so that you know that you're not alone. All right, so first up, Carissa. Carissa, can you pop on here and just tell us a little bit about you and then a little bit about how anxiety affects you just in your everyday life?
I sure can. I decided to go to a different location. So tell a little bit about me first. So I'm Carissa. I've been with It Works now for 8 years. I am a triple diamond and I am a mom of 2. I do this business full time from home from the last 6 years and I completely love it. And I do this business through anxiety and through running up these stairs just now and through really not realizing that's what it was when things first started. So, and what else you wanted to know?
That's cool. That's cool.
Oh,
Tasha, how about you? Can you just do a short intro about you?
Yes, hi everybody. My name is Tasha, and I've been with the company for 5 years and 8 days. Oh my gosh, like 5 years. I'm from Maui. We are a triple diamond, going presidential diamond this month. So excited. And I have 2 babies, 4 and 5 years old. I started this business when my daughter was 1, I think. And I'm a stay-at-home mom. I run my husband's tattoo business. I run our barbershop, but we sold it, so now I don't have that anymore. I watch my niece and my nephew and brothers and sisters and take all of them to school. So my life is definitely crazy. And my anxiety first started when I had my daughter. I had really severe depression and anxiety. And yeah, that's where it started.
Okay, I'm going to pop this on the screen so that we can just talk. It's going to be kind of weird looking for the recording, but at least you can hear our voices. Okay, so Tasha, you said your anxiety started with your daughter. You didn't have anything like this before that?
No, I gave birth to my daughter, and I had my son first and my daughter, and it started coming when I nursed her for 2 years, and so I noticed that I just thought it was just, I didn't know what it was. I started getting I would hyperventilate, I would cry out of nowhere, my heart would be pumping, I cannot breathe, I'd feel lightheaded and stuff, and I kind of really never understood what it was. So I kind of just let it go. I started getting checked, but it got really bad probably a year ago. She's 5 now, so she was 4. I had chest pains it would be all day, every day, from side to side. We did EKGs and all that, and they told me that's what it was and wanted to put me on prescription medicine, and so then no, I'm gonna try something, and I swear by Confianza for sure.
Carissa, have you been anxious your whole life? You're muted.
oh, thank you.
I couldn't let you keep going because it was kind of funny, but
No, actually, no. And actually, from listening to Tasha, I realized mine's formed from PTSD from my youngest son who just turned 9. Just experiencing a severely bad emergency C-section that the medication didn't work for, so I actually felt the whole thing. And I had PTSD from that, where still to this day, I really can't look at his infant pictures. So I noticed it started from that. From there, and plus he was in the hospital for 14 days after that. I was in the hospital for a week after that. I had tons of depression, feeling as though I didn't even have a baby because I couldn't see him, he couldn't see me because we were both being treated, because I also had preeclampsia. So from there, that's where the PTSD started, which I never realized I had until maybe a few years ago. I always now started to have, I've had since him too, I've also had a sleeping issue where I couldn't sleep straight through the night. I also was on depression medication maybe about 8 years ago, maybe when he was like 1. And I realized that medication had me so messed up, where if you said something to me, everything was just whatever, whatever. I can jump off the roof right now and I'll fly, whatever. Everything was just a brush off, and it makes you feel invincible. And it was a crazy feeling to have. And they put me on it just for a black label reason, for stomach pain, because, I still got the stomach issues still to this day. So that was something that they gave me for that. And it also just was for the depression too. And after that, I wouldn't take it anymore. So I would say over the last 2 years, dealing with a lot of family issues. My mom is and was like a major trigger of my anxiety. And so dealing with all of that, I went through with her for like, I would say 2 years prior. She was very sick. She had a lot of mental issues. So dealing with her with that was just like to the point where to this day, I can still feel like I can hear her yelling, and it would make me jump up when I know it's not true. So I felt like that's when anxiety started. And then I can feel it I feel it now, but I can feel it when like I have too much caffeine. It's like, it feels like a whole panic attack coming on. And then I'll go and cry it out. And once I cry it out, I feel better. And I didn't realize that that was anxiety attacks that I was having. But I used to have them like once a week. And then I started taking Confianza more, realizing that it helped with that. And now it's gotten me through so much, so much, where I'm like Tasha, and I messaged her even like on Mother's Day, like, how many you took max a day? Like, how many did you take? Because I'm at 8 right now. So how many did you take? So, but I didn't have to go past that. It literally, it works so amazing for me. Every time I take 2, I feel it like 10 minutes after I take it. And it's like a whole mood shift where if I'm feeling sad, and then 10 minutes later, it's like a whole flip switch where it's a totally different person. And I'm like back to myself. So, yeah. So my mom is like my major trigger of my anxiety as of right now. Her and my dad's Alzheimer's, because he won't sit still and he's always trying to get up and leave. And he's very, for him to be 75, this man moves like he's 25. So he's more mobile than me. So I have to keep up with him. Like still right this second, like I'm watching him while I'm up here. So he's also like a part of my anxiety and a ton of other stuff. So yeah, that's about where I'm at with it.
Okay, so I know you guys probably don't know what it feels like to work without anxiety, but how do you feel like this affects your business, and what do you do to overcome that feeling, like wanting to just shut down and quit and like push it all away? Tasha, you want to go first?
Sure. I kind of pretend like I don't have anxiety. Like I try to ignore it, But you know what's so weird is that Krista just said that her mom triggers it. When I was in high school, great, now I'm gonna cry. Maybe not, maybe not. I found my grandma and she was dead. And I really feel like maybe that's what triggered it. Like I could like smell her. Like I opened the door and maybe that, but after that I kind of just became like an alcoholic and a druggie, to kind of like ease the pain, I guess. But now my kids trigger my anxiety. I like beat them up at my husband. But you know what? I just deal with it. Like mine is so bad. And I think like I'm like superwoman. So I don't like want to take like the Confianza. I'm like, I'm a superwoman. And then like halfway through the day, like sorry TMI, but I throw up almost every single day. I am sick to my stomach every single day. I feel like crap from the moment I wake up to the moment I close my eyes, like unless I take Confianza, and it's hard. But the thing is if you're gonna use it as an excuse, like you should have quit a long time ago. The thing is that that's part of your story. That's what's gonna drive you. And I mean I'll sit here and have like panic attacks, but it's so bad where like I'm drained by the end of the day. Like I just ran like a marathon, my body's sore, my bones are sore. I'm just like, I have like no energy to move, and I think just remembering your why, because the thing is that when you push through this and you become an ambassador diamond, you can share this story of you working with anxiety all the way to the top, and maybe you'll touch somebody else, you know, because, and the thing is that if you're gonna let this one little thing, I mean, it's not little, but if you're gonna let this little thing, I said little again, to stop you, you know what I mean? Like, you're just so much greater. And I I I don't know how I do it, and probably Carissa doesn't know how she does it either. And I just feel like it's something that is never gonna go away, you know. So, you know, like, especially like once, or when somebody passes, like, that feeling never goes away. You just you just live with it, you know. And but I'm gonna take a confianza right now. That's what I have to say.
These breaks going back and forth like this helps, though. You know, you get the break for a second. So I work through my anxiety through the business because the business is like a outlet for me. The business is not my anxiety. It doesn't cause me anxiety. It has nothing to do with it. If anything, I work better under pressure through the business. So I know how to trick myself to do so. But the business has nothing to do with my anxiety. It's all outside of it. So when I feel the anxiety, I run to the business. I feel like Tasha, when it comes to being like, nah, I don't need it. I'm good. Nope. And then as soon as the panic attack happened or the anxiety attack happened, and then next thing you know, I'm on the phone with Mel or with old boy. Then next thing you know, I'm like, you know, the first question out their mouth is, did you take it? And I'm like, no, but I'm gonna take it right now. And then as soon as I take it and I'm on the phone, and then like a few minutes to kick in, and I'm like, okay, I don't need you anymore though. Thanks though. You know, so now my whole mood has changed. So I mean, so that's usually how it goes with me. But I am now more consistent with taking it every day, and it helps me fall asleep. Like, it used to not put me to sleep, but since my mom's passing, when I take it at night, I fall asleep. So it does give me some hours of sleep. But working through it with the business is definitely not even an issue. Like, and like what Tasha was saying, we just work through it. Like, you've been going through it so long, like, it doesn't even affect you to feel like you use it as an excuse, because to me it's not. It's something that's a part of me, and I'm not going to use it as an excuse to stop me to get from getting where I got to go. Like, I've dealt with so much throughout my life. I've dealt with bullies. Well, you know, they tried it, but we won't call them a full bully because they didn't get a, you know, but I've dealt with that. I've dealt with, you know, insecurities growing up. I dealt with a ton of stuff. I dealt with always feeling like I wasn't, you know, the number one child. I mean, I felt like that up until the time of. So I've always had those type of insecurities and things. But to be able to get over those and get through it, like, it's always other stuff. Like, you just got to deal with it. I mean, my mom dealt with hers. She dealt with her anxiety, her depression, her alcoholism. She dealt with all of that. And she still woke up every day functional and still went to work and still done everything she needed to do as a wife, as a mom, as a caretaker, as a beautician. She still did everything. I can do it too. So I have that same type of toughness to me where I've been through the same thing, except the difference with me is I got personal development as well. And that personal development is what also pushes me to be more functional with the way I operate than just to be depressed and in the bed and not moving. Like, even the same night my mom passed, I was on a Zoom that night. Like, it's just normal to me to work. That's just normal. Since I was 14, I've been working. I've always been addicted to working. So that's always been me, and that's who I am. So why would I change it now for anxiety or for death or for a panic attack or for my dad being missing and, you know, I'm waiting for him to come back home because the cops is helping look for him? I'm still working in between that. So what changes it? If it's a part of me, that's something I'm doing. I'm not going to go hide in the corner. That's not the person I am. I'm not a hider. I always confront everything.
I feel like I just want to put this disclaimer out there. This is not a Zoom to sell Confianza. Totally not a Zoom for that.
Definitely not.
But I think this topic came up because one day we were all talking about how many Confianzas people actually take in a day. And like, this was born out of that. But Okay, Sherry is gone. Okay, Sherry, can you swim? Can you swim? Sorry, guys. Sorry. I just want to know, like, I'm so sorry. We totally lighten the mood there. What are
I look like the Hera eyes from Xena and them the shows back in the day, Hercules and Xena. That's what it looked like. Okay, sorry, go.
I just want to know if you guys can give some practical tips. And I know that anything to do with your mental health is going to be different for everybody. So what works for one person may not work for another. But can you give some practical tips, not just for work in your business, but for things that help you in your everyday life?
Okay. For me, it's definitely keeping the right people around me. I will not speak to certain people being the first person they will not be the first person I speak to in the morning. They will not be the last people I speak to at night. That's something that I personally do. If I feel like you're somebody that will cause a negativity in my life, you are not going to be the first person I speak to or the last person. And that's one thing that helps me so that I don't wake up with anxiety. First off, I hate to wake up anxious. And that'll happen if I feel like I overslept, or if for some reason just something pops up in my head. I will wake up that way. And if I wake up that way, my day is jacked up. Like if I wake up that way, it's over for me to it takes a while. I would have to take a nap to reset. That's like that's my word. Reset is something I do a lot. And I utilize sleep to be my reset. And because we're home in quarantine, because I'm able to do this business and I don't have no job, I'm able to reset all day long if I want to. So I love the fact that I can do that, and I can utilize, telling myself, okay, it's time to reset. And then I'll just take that nap and get it out of my system. So that helps me. Also, I'm a very comedic person. I always keep that type of personality because I don't like to be sad. I don't like sadness around me. If somebody else is sad around me, they already know I'm the person to call for the laughter. Don't call me to cry too. I'm more so of the laughter. So if you're mad or you're angry or you're sad and you want to speak to someone and sadden it out and y'all want to stay moping together, that ain't me. I'm sorry, I'd rather laugh or crack a joke. And if I do, then to make you feel better. But I'm not going to sit there and mope with you. That's just not me. Because then it's going to start my anxiety. It's going to start me feeling worse. And I don't want that. I'm there for you, but I'm there for you on the laughter side. So yeah, that helps me just resetting and guarding my mind as to who is the first people I speak to. Tasha?
Ooh. Well, so I'm opposite. I am not even kidding, and I'm not over exaggerating. I wake up every morning with my heart pumping. That is how I wake up every single morning, because I feel like I overslept. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I instantly wake up heart pumping, like running to see what time it is. And I really don't know what triggers my anxiety, but I know it's not the business, because I could be washing dishes, getting anxiety as soon as I sit in this chair. Well, there's a chair under me. When I sit in this chair, I feel good. But like for me, maybe I think what helps me cope is I CrossFit. And that's something that definitely I never realized that maybe that's like my outlet, but somebody mentioned it on the other Zoom we did. They're like, maybe CrossFit, I think it was Priscilla, and I feel like I CrossFit like 1 to 2 times a day. And it definitely helps. And kind of like Carissa too, when negativity, complainers, sadness comes to me, like it triggers my anxiety like instantly. But honestly, my biggest tip is just to work through it. Like Carissa said, that's a part of us, and that's, I'm not proud that I have anxiety, but I've ignored it for so long, and I was honestly ashamed. I was so ashamed, and I didn't want to say that it was anxiety, but I just, when the doctors told me that's what it was and they wanted to put me on medication, that's definitely when when everything triggered. But for me, I don't know what triggers it. So I don't know how to cope with it. Like, I'd also tell you guys something that helps. CrossFit, I think, helps, but I don't know exactly what triggers it, because like I said, I feel this 24/7. I feel it when I'm taking a shower. I feel it when I wake up. I feel it when I'm cooking dinner. I feel it when I'm washing dishes. It's there. I mean, I gotta take a lot of confiance in order for me to not feel it, you know. And I feel that's why I think I cry so much, is because, like, you know, I feel like this 24/7. Like, I haven't mastered how to cope with it yet, so I just deal with it. Yeah.
Do you feel it when you're away from home?
Yeah, I feel it when I'm at the post office. I feel it when I'm driving. I just feel it
No, further,
24/7. Like,
like
just,
further, like conference, like further away from home. Do you feel it when you're like away from home, like traveled somewhere else? Do you feel it?
no, not really. As a matter
Exactly.
of fact, I
So,
think
so
it's
the
so weird.
trigger is home. That's what mine is. My trigger is here. This house is my trigger.
Wow, I mean, I have it when I get on the plane, but like at conference, yeah. Wow. It's
So
my
home
kids.
is
Perfect.
your
I'm
trigger.
moving out. I'm packing my bag tonight. I'm out. Out of here. Does anybody want to take me? You know, I was going to go buy a hotel room, but I'm moving out, guys. I'm done. I'm done.
Oh my God, that was not the takeaway. Not supposed to be the takeaway.
No, but I realize that, like, and that's why I'm okay with taking vacations and trips and things like that. I don't feel it when I'm not home, but when I'm here, and it's like, you know, it's adulting. Like, no one wants to be an adult, and that adult life is a lot. Whether you're making $5 or $100 million, you know, adult life is a lot, and I feel like that's what I feel when I'm here. When I'm home, I got to be back on a schedule. I got to be mom. I ain't got to be wife. Sorry. I ain't got to be that stuff. But stuff like that, you know, I feel it. And when I'm away and I don't have zero responsibilities, I don't feel it.
I'm really moving out. I'm out. I'm out. But you know how, like, you want to know how, like, it is to live with anxiety? Like, your unfolded clothes gives you anxiety. Like, something on the ground, your house being messy gives you anxiety. Like, you cannot just, like, and what sucks is, like, you cannot just, like, lounge around, let your kids mess up your house and be happy. Like, that's not, you know, some moms enjoy it. It's like, enjoy this time with your kids while they're messing around your house. Well, someone with anxiety can't do that. I am yelling at my kids 24/7. They give me anxiety. I'm out. I'm out. I'm not kidding. I'm out. But that is such a good thing. Like, I love that. Like, when I go out to places, you know, on like vacations, I go a lot without my kids. And you're right. I don't feel like this. The only anxiety I get is missing them. But I mean, other than that, it's not 24/7. Thanks, Krista. I'm selling my kids. Got it.
Okay, guys. What kind of personal development would you recommend for somebody that has, and maybe they don't know they have anxiety, but they kind of have these same feelings that you guys have? Like, what are some things that have helped you personal development wise?
I haven't gotten that deep with mine. I just confianza it. I haven't gotten that deep.
Well, you both do a lot of personal development. So I know that Carissa in particular, you've told me that like that helps.
Oh, I
Why,
did?
why do you think it helps?
You mean like manifestation and stuff?
Sure.
Uh, that's more like of life in general. I feel like it just helps just to make me a better person. But I definitely, I have to get through it through, you know, crying it. Like, I have to get it out. I usually, if I feel like I'm about to have a whole anxiety attack, I'll just go sit in the car or, and let it out. Or I'll go just in my room and wait till it's nighttime when it's time to go to sleep. And then that's when I let it out. Like, nobody actually seen me go through the actual anxiety attacks unless, you know, I'm on the phone with people that know me. Otherwise I don't, and I can feel it starting, and I feel that chest tightness that she was talking about. And then I feel it when we at conference, only because I know that announcements is about to happen and the anxiety builds up. And so I have to take confianza to stop it. So I realized that happened there. And then the last 2 times I took it before the announcements happened, I usually will cry. These times I did not cry. And I'm like, I'm the only one sitting here not crying. So
I'm never crying either. It's a weird thing I've
stop,
got.
but it helps so much. But I realized how great it is, and I have to take 4. If I feel like it's real bad, I do have to take 4. I am the 4 girl, but otherwise 2 can somewhat if it's medium. But I'm sorry, that is my main go-to. Personal development wise, I would definitely make sure you're reading something that I like, stuff that yells at me. I like people that yell at me. It got to be red personality to push me more. But I always got that manifestation around me. I'm just like in a great space with, the right people around me where I can think like that and think through it and know to call somebody instead of just trying to fight it by myself. I don't do that.
I like that.
I love that. Yeah, I actually do the same. I like people screaming at me. So when I feel like I go to Eric Thomas, he's screaming at me, I'm crying. It's like, yes. But I feel like how I get through it is crying for sure. And I sit there and I cry and I have no idea why I'm crying. And my husband's only seen it once. And it was I like promote for like a big huge concert, and he saw me going through it once, and I was like hyperventilating, and I was like over there like I had to throw up. He's like, what's going on, and I'm like, this, I have anxiety. Like, he's like, he never told me about this because I was ashamed of it before, so I just feel like crying and people yelling at me. And confianza, I took 2. You guys saw when I took 2. Now I feel good. My heart's not pumping anymore. It's pumping this whole time, and I feel good. Probably take 2 more and 2 more. But confianza, and I'm sure Carissa she really did message me. She's like, hey, how much can you take? Can you tell me? I'm like, well, I took this much. Somebody took this much. She said, okay, you're good. I'm like, all right.
I'm like, okay, I'm only at 8. You went to 12? Oh, okay, I'm only at 8. All right. And I'm bigger than you, so I can take 12. Okay. But I only had to make it to 8. After 8, I was good.
So you guys talk about taking so many confianzas. Okay, so I do not have anxiety like that. So for me, like 2 is sufficient unless I'm going through something like really stressful in life or something really emotional. Tell them why you keep taking so many and how it makes you feel.
All righty. Okay, so let's just talk about Mother's Day that just happened, right? So I took 4 at 2:00 in the morning because I couldn't fall asleep because I started seeing all the posts and things, and it just hit. And so I took 4, and that made me fall asleep. No, I took 2, and after 2, like 15 minutes later, I'm like, oh, it's still there. And so I took the other 2, and then I went to sleep. Then I woke up, and now I'm seeing it again. So now I took 2, and then it just didn't stop it. I was still in that state of just wanting to stay in the bed. And at the same time, I'm texting people. They don't know I'm going through it because I'm still messaging people in between. And then I take 2 more. So I think literally within about a 5-hour span, not counting those 4 before, I had took 2. No, I'm lying, 2. I took 2 like every 4 hours. And if that final, when I got to that 8 at like 2:00 in the afternoon, it finally kicked in where I felt better. And then as the night went on, it started calming down, and I was better because I knew the day was almost over. So it was just pretty much me waiting for the day to end. And then I felt better until the next morning. I took 2 again because I woke up seeing all the old posts from Sunday. And I'm like, why are you still up here?
So, I don't think people realize why Mother's Day was so hard. Is it okay if you tell them real quick so they understand?
Yeah, I can tell them fast. So my mom passed December 22nd of last year, just passed. And it was in reference to self-infliction. So it was hard, but it wasn't hard only because I was prepared for it. So it wasn't as hard, but I do still miss her a ton. But at the same time, I'm okay with the fact that through self-development, I understand that she's happier, and I'm glad she's happy, and I'd rather her be happy. So being here and being around this and thinking that you're going to have this lifelong partner forever, y'all are going to retire, y'all are going to travel the world. And then when he retires, next thing you know, he has Alzheimer's and he can't do it. Your plans are ruined. And for you to be having your hopes up, waiting for this to happen, and then when the time comes and you're ready for it to happen, and instead you get a whole switch changeover, now you got to be caretaker. It was a whole piece of depression. I think that's all I got.
Yeah, so it was your first Mother's Day without her.
Correct. That's pretty much the biggest trigger because she's a she's very involved in holidays, and we weren't. The rest of this house is very nonchalant. We're like, we don't care because it's pretty much every holiday was a celebration towards her. Because she was, I always told her, like, I'm like your freaking husband, like, I'm taking care of you type of stuff. So everything was geared towards her. So it wasn't like we ever took those holidays to heart to ourselves. So it never really was a thing about us. So it all basically went around her. So it didn't really, that one was just the most because I already know how that one was. Like, I know I can hear her saying, you ain't do this, or you ain't get this, we ain't get enough, because we supposed to really go all out for it.
Thank you. Tasha, what about you? Like, why do you take so many confiances? How's it make you feel?
It's rare that when I'm home, I rarely take them. Like I said, I just deal with it. Like, I just think I'm superwoman, so then I don't take it, like Krista said. And then when I start, like, chest pains, hyperventilating is when I'll take it. But I take it, and then I'll take it again if, like, I can feel it wearing off. But mine, I don't even know what you asked. Sorry, I wasn't thinking. Oh, how does it make me feel? Like, I don't know how to explain the feeling, but you feel really good. It's like everything that you were worried about is, like, gone. Like, it's so hard to explain unless you, like, but even if you don't have anxiety, like, you taking it, you will feel the difference. Like, I just don't know how to explain it, but like I said, toys on the ground or whatever gives me anxiety. I can take 4 or 6 of these, and that toys on the ground doesn't matter. I'm not yelling at my kids, I'm not screaming at the top of my lungs, or people are gonna call the police on me. I'll just pick it up and I'll be okay. Like, it's just so hard. Like, the chest pains are not there. So maybe Carissa can answer that. Yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, Carissa, you answer that real quick?
Yeah, I took depression medication, and it wasn't that common feeling. It was more so of a common plus invincibility feeling. And I didn't like that because it makes you feel like you can do stuff you weren't supposed to be doing, and you can hurt yourself from doing it. So I didn't like that feeling. I didn't like that side effect from it. And I was literally only supposed to be taking it for stomach pains from being diagnosed with IBS. And he gave me that medication to take for the black label version of effect of the stomach pain. And so I didn't like that feeling. I stayed on him for literally like a month. And after that, I never got back on him again. And back then, I don't think I had anxiety like that. So that was just that. I don't think I had anxiety like that. No, when I took them, it was before my son. I didn't have anxiety at all. I took them the year before I had him, the year before I was pregnant. Yeah.
So I don't have anxiety or depression or you know what, if I do, I'm not aware enough of myself to know that. But whenever I take Confianza, I take it because it does have health benefits, for one. But for another thing, it's like what was bothering you doesn't bother you so bad anymore. I feel like okay, it's kind of weird, but whenever you put that Rain-X stuff on your windshield, and like the rain just like bounces right off of it. It feels sort of like I'm that Rain-X windshield. I hate that stuff. It looks so weird. But I feel like I'm that windshield and things are just bouncing right off of me. And what would have been bothering me doesn't bother me anymore. Like 20 minutes after I take it, I can feel the difference from like my children annoying me. Things like that. What are the health benefits? I don't remember at this second. I just listened to a Zoom one time.
The cortisol.
Like, I need that. I need to take that every day. So, what, Carissa?
The cortisol. It blocks the cortisol from the stress that you get that you build up you build fat from stress. Stress builds fat, and the Confianza blocks the stress that you would feel that would build the fat. Something
What's
like that.
funny is my cortisol is really low, like super low. So like I don't know.
Oh, that's awesome. Mine's not.
Mine is really low. I'm not a stressed person at all. And for me to like the supplement, even without being like that, to me, I just feel like things don't bother me. And I like that feeling. Okay, you guys, we're going to wrap it up. I just want you to share real quick anything that you haven't said yet that you think would benefit everybody. Oh, if yours is high, Sharna, then definitely if you're going to take Thermifite X, then you have to take Confianza with it. Those two together will be a better combo for you. It makes you feel like your mind is on vacation. It kind of does. I like that. Not in a bad way. Not like it left and like went out the door, but like it's like has a break.
Yeah. But you feel like you won't even realize it unless you actually analyze it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you'll just get back to your regular scheduled activities and don't know it unless somebody actually makes you think about what just changed. You won't realize it. So it's not like a groovy, like a, you know.
You're not getting high.
I was trying not to say that.
Oh, sorry. But so next time you try it, think about it and think about how it's making you feel. And right now it's on sale. If you're watching the recording, it might not be on sale, but right now it's on sale for loyal customers. So it would be a good product to talk to people about, or to ask your loyal customer, you know, like to get through, you know, to get for yourself. Okay, so what is something that you guys feel like you want to leave everybody with? Something you haven't got to say?
Just knowing that anxiety does not rule your life. You can rule it. It does not rule your life. I know there was a letter, oh my gosh, and I got this letter somewhere and I meant to always put it up and never did. I went to a women's, one of the women, the last women thing that Cindy had, what was it called? Women's conference. That's the word. Women's conference that Cindy had. I think it was that one, or it might have been the first one. And she had all the girls up there, and they were reading letters, like talking to that fear, to that anxiety, to that depression, to that such and such, telling it that it doesn't bring you, it doesn't live in your life. And it was a letter to basically for you that you're writing to it, to actually help you know that it doesn't bring you. And yeah, I don't remember where they are. How did I got them? I don't remember all of that stuff, but it exists somewhere and I'm gonna find it. But that is very helpful, to just write a letter to it and treat it like it don't belong to you.
So like my tip I want to leave you guys with is, I don't have one, but we're gonna make one up right now. So kind of piggyback on Krista, like, you know, and maybe it's a little bit easier for some people to deal with it and others not. But like for me, Confianza, personal development, you guys, finding like something that you know, like, see, but like for me, my anxiety doesn't only come from bad things, like that I'm stressed. It can come from like how Krista said, when there's announcements, I like everything kind of triggers my anxiety. But my biggest thing is for you to just work through it. And you know, like, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I didn't want to do host to post because that gives me severe anxiety, like to the point I want to like just close my eyes, you know, it's so overwhelming. But the thing is that yes, too much caffeine, maybe that's where mine comes, maybe that's why I have a lot, you know. And but it's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away. Your anxiety is gonna stay with you, so just deal with it and work through it. You know, when you feel like you don't have anxiety, sit down and do your work. But like for me, I feel great when I'm at my computer and I can work. And I love being around like our team and doing these Zooms. Even though I have anxiety, I feel good. That didn't even make sense, but you know what I mean, right? And sorry, I'm trying to read the comments. But yeah, you'll be okay. Don't let it define you. Keep pushing through it. And
any more cliches you got?
It's not going away. I'm reading people's comments.
I mean, caffeine supposedly helps, but too much of it maybe not. Like I think I was drinking too much at one time when we was at conference and we were trying all of those drinks. We was trying the skinny brew, and at the same time I had the keto coffee, I think right before that. And then I also had the tea in front of me, even though it didn't have caffeine, but I remember that feeling. My chest was tight. So on top of the fact of thinking that I'm realizing announcements is happening, I'm also drinking mad caffeine, and I'm sitting there like, my chest is just getting tight. And then after I had to take 4 Confianza to get better. And it happened twice while we was there. So it was a buildup of, announcements plus too much caffeine, I'm assuming. It ain't happened no more though. And host to post still for me will give me anxiety, but I've worked my way around it. I now just put my phone number out there and tell them to text me. And that stops me from having to go back and check all those messages, those posts. So I found trickery around it just so I can still do it at the same time as not being overwhelmed by it. Because that used to be me. I would put it on only me and will say, screw that post because too many people commented. So that I used to do that all the time. I used to really do that all the time.
Yeah, just like me, I straight delete it. I'm like, too much, bye, deleting. Like, I have a post right now, 125 comments, and I'm like, I'm just gonna just delete it, But I think, like Carissa said, I just want to leave you guys with this. I feel the reason why we can deal with it is because we work great under pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And if I don't have anxiety, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, when I don't have anxiety, I don't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
But when I have that feeling, I sit here, heart is pumping, chest is tight, but I get things done.
Very creative.
Yeah.
That's my most creative times.
Yes, sure.
It's strange.
Final thought, number 30, anyone? No?
We're unicorns.
Number
that's
31?
All.
No. Okay.
You should just stop me and Carissa because we'll talk forever. So bye.
Okay, you guys, stick around for the after party. I am going to end this recording. So everybody just wave to people, or the cat's sleeping, but wave. Bye, guys. Bye, recording people.